On July 27, 1975, Elvis Presley walked into a Memphis car dealership and spent $140,000 in a single afternoon. He bought 14 Cadillacs. He kept almost none of them. One went to a complete stranger who was simply admiring a car in the parking lot. Others went to friends, bodyguards, and staff. It was not a publicity stunt. There were no cameras invited. 2 years before his death, the king of rock and roll was doing what he had always done, turning his fortune into someone else's joy. This is a story of that afternoon and every Cadillac that came before it. Number 14. The 1954 Fleetwood Series 60 that burned on a highway. It all started with his first Cadillac, a 1954 Cadillac Fleetwood Series 60 special sedan. Arguably the most famous car in Elvis's early collection, the Fleetwood became a symbol of his rise. In early 1955, Presley bought it pink. The car provided transport for Elvis and the Blue Moon Boys, but after a brake lining failure, it was destroyed in a roadside fire between Hope and Texarkana, Arkansas on June 5, 1955. On July 5, 1955, he purchased a new Cadillac Fleetwood Series 60 in blue with a black roof and had it repainted to match the car referenced in Baby, Let's Play House, the first song he recorded to appear on a national chart. The first one burned on a highway in Arkansas. He bought another the same month. At 20 years old, barely famous, already spending his first real money on Cadillacs and already giving them away before he could even afford to. His first major gift was that repainted pink Cadillac presented to his mother Gladys in 1955. She could not drive. She never had a driver's license. He bought her a car anyway. That single detail tells you more about Elvis Presley than almost any biography ever written. Number 13. The 1954 Convertible for Sam Phillips at Sun Records. The second most significant early Cadillac gift went to the man who gave Elvis his first recording opportunity. Elvis most famously gave a drop-top 1954 Caddy to Sam Phillips at Sun Records. Sam Phillips had recorded Elvis at Sun Studio in Memphis, heard something nobody else had heard, and released records that changed popular music permanently. Elvis repaid that debt the way he repaid most debts, with a Cadillac. Phillips was not family. He was not on Elvis's payroll. He was simply the man who had believed in him first. In Elvis's world, that was reason enough. The Phillips gift established a pattern that would define the rest of Elvis's life. Gratitude expressed in automotive form. If you mattered to him, if you helped him, there was a reasonable chance you would drive home in a new car. Number 12. The 1966 Fleet of 8 sedans, one for every person who mattered. In 1966, he bought 2 black caddies for his bodyguards, another for his hairstylist, 2 white ones for a couple of friends, another white one for his personal valet, a maroon one for another friend, and tucked a yellow one under the tree at Christmas time. 8 cars in a single year. Elvis was not buying one car as a special occasion. He was buying cars the way other people buy Christmas presents, as a matter of routine generosity scaled to his wealth. His bodyguards got black Cadillacs. His hairstylist got one. His valet got one. Friends got yellow and maroon ones. The Memphis car dealerships that knew his name began setting cars aside. His staff stopped being surprised when a new set of keys appeared. The gift of a Cadillac became, within his inner circle, something expected rather than exceptional. Number 11. The early 1970s coupes for his karate and Taekwondo instructors. Elvis practiced karate since his Army days, and in the early 1970s, he contacted Memphis instructor King Ree to see if he would be interested in continuing his training. Ree agreed, but had Elvis complete his training in a class with other students. He later bought 1 Cadillac, each for his karate and Taekwondo instructors. King Ree did not give Elvis preferential treatment. Elvis trained alongside other students and met the same standards. He respected that deeply and bought Ree a Cadillac. He bought his Taekwondo instructor another one. They had given him something he valued more than entertainment. They had treated him like an ordinary person, trying to learn an extraordinary skill. Number 10. The September 1974 Coup de Ville, the Eldorado, and the world's best car buyer Plaque. On September 23, 1974, Elvis bought 5 Cadillacs from Madison Cadillac in Memphis, including one for his uncle Elvis Presley, one for Gigi Gamble, his cousin's husband and aide, one for Mrs. Barbara Klein, and an Eldorado for Sonny West. Elvis bought his uncle Vester a gold Coupe de Ville with a black top. Not long after that, salesman Bob Brown gave Elvis a plaque for being the world's best car buyer. Inscribed on it were the names of 31 people to whom Elvis had given a car. The dealership had never encountered a customer quite like this one, someone who spent so consistently and so completely on other people. Number 9. 3 Cadillacs among 6 cars for the cook at Graceland. Elvis gave Mary Jenkins, his maid and cook at Graceland, 6 cars, including 3 Cadillacs. Mary Jenkins cooked the food Elvis loved, the fried peanut butter and banana sandwiches and biscuits of his Memphis childhood, every day for years. She was not a celebrity or a manager. She was the woman who made sure Elvis ate. He gave her 6 cars. 3 of them were Cadillacs. He did not give cars to people useful to his career. He gave them to people present in his actual life. Number 8. The revolving Cadillacs for band member Charlie Hodge. He gave many cars to Charlie Hodge, the band member who handed Elvis scars during concerts, because Elvis would give the car Hodge was currently driving to someone else, and then buy him another one. Hodge lived at Graceland until the day Elvis died. Charlie Hodge had the most unusual automotive relationship in the entire Elvis story. He would receive a Cadillac, drive it for a period, and then Elvis would decide to give that specific car to someone else, and simply buy Hodge another one. This cycle repeated multiple times. To Elvis, a Cadillac was not a permanent possession. It was a current expression of feeling that could be redirected at any moment toward whoever needed it most. Number 7. The January 1976 Cadillac and 2 Lincolns for the Denver police. January 14, 1976. As a thank you gesture to his friends on the Denver police force, Elvis purchased 2 Lincolns and a Cadillac for Officers Jerry Kennedy, Ron Pietrafaso, and Police Surgeon Gerald Starkey, along with Cadillacs for Linda Thompson and Joe Esposito's girlfriend, Shirley Dew. The total bill came to $70,000. Upon entering the dealership, Dr. Starkey complimented Kennedy's new ride, and the King took note. Without missing a beat, Elvis told the salesman to add another car to the order. The Colorado Department of Revenue later filed a claim with the Memphis probate court, seeking $13,000 in unpaid taxes on 9 luxury vehicles Elvis had purchased in Colorado. The generosity that felt free to everyone who received a car was not entirely free to those who inherited the estate. Number 6. The 1976 Cadillac Seville delivered to a TV station the morning after a joke. In reporting the story of Elvis' generosity to his police friends, Denver television newsman Don Kinney joked on air that he would like a car too, saying on camera, "Elvis, if you are watching, I would not mind getting a car too." Elvis was watching. He bought Kinney a Cadillac Seville. The next morning, it was delivered to the television station. Kinney later confirmed every detail. He had not been serious. Elvis had been completely serious. He did not think about it. He did not calculate whether Kinney deserved it. He simply heard someone mention wanting a car and responded in the most direct way available to him. Number 5. The mid-1970s wedding gift Cadillac for 2 strangers who missed the show. In the mid-1970s, a newlywed couple had tickets to see Elvis the night of their wedding, but had mistakenly believed their tickets were for the following evening. They had missed the show entirely through an honest mistake on the most important night of their lives. When Elvis heard what had happened, he invited them backstage, met them personally, and arranged for them to attend his next performance. Then he gave them a Cadillac as a wedding gift. 2 people he had never met, who had simply shown up on the wrong night with tickets they had already paid for, left that encounter with a car. The story circulated widely in Memphis. Number 4. Cadillacs for the dentist, the jeweler, and the police surgeon. Elvis gave his dentist a car. He gave his jeweler a car. Police surgeon Gerald Starkey received one as part of the Denver spree. The professionals in Elvis's life, the people who maintained his teeth, set his jewelry, and treated his health, received the same treatment as his bodyguards and his maid. There was no hierarchy of deserving in Elvis's philosophy of giving. A doctor got a Cadillac. A dentist got a Cadillac. The jeweler who supplied the rings and belt buckles that defined his stage presence got a Cadillac. Money felt impersonal to him. A Cadillac felt personal. Number 3. The 1975 gold and white Cadillac Eldorado for a bank teller on her birthday. At about 9:30 p.m. on July 27, 1975, 33-year-old bank teller Minnie Person was walking by Madison Cadillac when she spotted a unique, custom-made Cadillac parked on the lot. She and her husband Troy were Cadillac fans and owned a 1974 model, but this one was unlike anything she'd ever seen. She was not in the market to buy. They were still paying on the one they had, but she just had to get a closer look. She stuck her head through the lowered window and was admiring the car when someone walked up from the back parking lot. The man asked her if she liked the Cadillac. She said she liked it very much. The man said, "That one is mine, but I will buy you one." A flabbergasted Minnie told Elvis that she and her husband had already owned a Cadillac and could not afford a second one. The king reiterated that he was paying for it. Ultimately, Minnie selected an $11,500 gold and white Cadillac Eldorado, equivalent to roughly $68,000 today. When Minnie told Elvis that her birthday was just 2 days away, he handed her another check and told her to buy some clothes to go with the car. On her birthday, newspapers around the world shared the story of how Minnie just happened to be in the right place at the right time to receive the generosity of a king. She had not been looking for anything. She was a bank teller on her way home who stopped to look at a car she could not afford. She left with a new Cadillac and a wardrobe check. Number 2. July 27, 1975, 13 Cadillacs before Minnie walked in. While at Madison Cadillac, where he had been buying cars for 20 years, Elvis spent $140,000 on 14 Cadillacs. Those cars primarily went to friends and family. The Memphis dealership could not believe their luck as Elvis wandered the lot, pointing at vehicles and saying, "That one is nice. I will take it." His dentist received a yellow sedan. Several Memphis police officers found new Cadillacs in their driveways. The spree cost nearly $140,000, equivalent to over $700,000 today. 13 cars distributed across an inner circle of people who had spent years making his life function. The bodyguards who kept the crowds back, the friends who traveled with him, the staff who managed the machinery of his daily existence. Each one received a car, not because Elvis was calculating a return, but because he was standing in a Cadillac dealership with the money to make every person in his orbit happy in one afternoon. And then Minnie walked in and made it 14. Number 1. The January 1976 Denver spree and the final white Cadillac hearse. On January 14, 1976, Elvis went on his last famous car buying spree at Jack Kent Cadillac in Denver, Colorado. It would be his final recorded large purchase. He died 16 months later on August 16, 1977, at Graceland, at the age of 42. His final ride was in a Cadillac he never owned. A white 1977 Miller Meteor hearse carried his body to Forest Hill Cemetery. The Presley family specifically requested a Cadillac hearse, knowing Elvis would not have wanted to make his final journey in any other make of car. No one knows for sure how many Cadillacs Elvis owned and gave away in his lifetime, but the number could easily be as high as 200 or more. It is difficult to get an exact count because he gave them away like candy to family, friends, and strangers. The pink one for his mother who could not drive, the one for Sam Phillips who discovered him, the 8 cars in a single Christmas season, the 6 cars for his cook, the one for a Denver newsman who asked on television as a joke, the one for a bank teller on her birthday who just wanted to look through a window at a car she would never own. 200 Cadillacs. almost everyone given away. He had everything. He wanted to give it away. He spent his whole life doing exactly that.